Definitely. So the first topic would be NLC urges subscribers to reject 50% Telecoms tariff hike. The Nigeria Labour Congress has called on telecommunication subscribers to reject the federal government's new 50% tariff hike. In a statement that shared on its X handle, NLC wrote, "Reject this tariff." The federal government approved 50% increase after operators initially requested a 100% increase. The hike, the first in over a decade, is aimed at revitalizing the struggling telecom sector, which contributes about 14% to Nigeria's economy. Responding to the development, NLC described the increment as a burden on Nigerians. The NLC president, Joe Ajaero, had earlier in the week criticized FG's approval of 8 billion naira of sensitizing Nigerians on the need to pay electricity bills. He also called for the resignation of the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, and other Ministry of Power officials over the frequent collapse of the national power grid. In another move, Ajaero faulted Adelabu over electricity bans and migration plans. The questioned why some people should be in Band A and others in Band, saying the practice is discriminatory. And he said, "We are saying instead of increasing the electricity tariffs, what we should be doing is moving people to Band A." Minister of Adebayo Adelabu said.
Oof. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a lot. First, my first question is going to go to Femi Chacha. Now, first, a lot of people, I really understand why NSC is trying to tell people, subscribers, to actually reject the 50% increase. But at the same time, my first question is going to direct to where he's saying, why should it's like more like 419, why should he switch everybody or most people to Band A, knowing that the tariff is very high? Do you think what the minister wants to do and what the NLC is saying, which do you think is actually right, that would be easy for Nigerians to accept?
Thank you. And my take is completely crazy, but I will have to be very factual. Number one, we can't trust this anymore. There is no time since probably this administration that NLC took a stand, quote and unquote, looking like for the love of the people. We all found out at the end that they don't know how to take a stand in the real sense of it. I can give you.
They actually don't stay.
Yes, they don't. In fact, it looks more like they don't try to do a lot of deep thinking. They just do a lot of emotional sensitization, and then once they are called to a round table to sit, or once they come to snap with the president, all of a sudden, how will you be proposing over 600,000 as minimum wage and you end up accepting 70,000? Then you think we should clap for you, or when next you raise agitations, we should think that there's something meaningful that will come out of it. That's number one. Number two is that I think NLC and TUC should understand that the people at the ends of affairs of this country at the moment were at the forefront of struggles many years ago. These are people that know about protest. Look at what happened in NSAS. Look at the last protest they wanted to do nationwide. Look at how most states curbed.
Yeah.
They caught and make sure that they gagged them, because the people at the end of affair right now were at the forefront of the struggles. You can't keep doing the same thing the same way and expecting the different results.
True.
And that's where I'm angry that I expect. Ajero is in the electricity sector, for those of us that know. So I'm disappointed that he's only making emotional sensationalism. He is supposed to come up with strict and detailed analysis of what the sector looks like. We saw how the here and there argument between Dangote and the NNPC in the oil sector, where each of them were trying to disguise, and several people who were stakeholders began to make categorical statements about how much import, how much this cost, how much this cost. They didn't have a choice than to come up to state the facts. So I know that is a player, not just a player, a major player should be telling us strictly, this is how much power generation Nigeria has achieved so far. so has been privatized, and by privatizing so we expect you can't make general statements and expect Nigerians to just fall for it. Lastly, I think the NLC, the TUC need a change of strategy.
Yes.
They really need,
a change.
especially for this. See, at the moment we don't have opposition.
Okay.
In the country politically. We can have a lot of noisemakers, but it does not amount to opposition.
The opposition.
It doesn't amount to opposition. In fact, I'm scared that the present administration may probably pick candidates for other political parties and find. I'm just being sincere.
Femi, hold on. I'm sorry. Apologies for cutting you. You're definitely going to continue with that. We have a commercial break, and we have to take that commercial break. So let's take our commercial break, and when we come back, of course, Femi Chacha will come from having no political opposition party right now. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, we're talking about NLC urging subscribers to reject 50% telecoms tariff hike, and of course, the shifting of everyone to band A or band B.
Yeah.
Okay, Femi Chacha, you're talking about
So to round off my thoughts, like I said, there's a need for a change in strategy for NLC and TUC. You don't need to come and make emotional statements. You have to be factual, and Nigerians will think. So
do you think that this statement urging subscribers, Nigerians, to reject that 50% is more of emotional than actually factual?
It's more emotional. I'll give you a good instance. See, we cannot want effectiveness from the private sector and still want to fix prices for them.
Okay.
They are private sectors.
So you can fix for them.
You can't fix prices for them. It's strictly business.
Yes.
And if we can't on one hand drag them for poor network, and then again still on the other hand still want to drag them and tell them how much they want to. So things don't work that way. That's one. Secondly, I'm of the opinion that we're supposed to be looking into expanding these sectors and expanding the players in the sectors and bringing people that are willing to drive the tariffs down, not forcing them
down their throat.
Yes, not forcing them to. They would always find. Okay, I think most Nigerians experience it, and I'm not going to mention any specific network. You think you've loaded data for the month, they will tell you unlimited. But excuse me, after 1.5 weeks,
you find out that it's gone.
It's gone. So what is now the important? Because they always find a way to get their money back.
Right.
These guys have been stealing from us. Right. Now they now want to find a way to be a little more open. Okay, what we should be saying is, will unlimited be really unlimited? We should be factual. Okay. We should not be, I can give you more instances, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't call names or call brands so that we can be on the safer side. So I'll give you another instance. You will say there was a time when one of the networks came in and do it. When you call 0.49 seconds, they will take away 1 minute. People understand what I'm trying to do. Back then, until another player, a Nigerian player came in and they charged per second. That's how many to per second. So we need to look for ways
competition.
Exactly to expand that sector, bring in more people that is private driven and drag down the price. That is the way to work towards it. You can't. I own a school. I pay taxes to government, but government also wants to dictate to me how much I will charge for school fees. Do you want to maintain structure?
No
it's
way.
not possible.
Yeah,
so they should think outside. But does that mean their cry is illegitimate? No. But I feel the way they are going about it is actually not wrong.
Okay, Mazi, is it? And do you have other opinions aside from this? And also, please, can you also react to the switch of taking customers from other bands to band A and band B rather than increasing the tariff for electricity? And of course, they also attacked them, saying, "Why do we always have our national grid falling?"
Well, thank you for having me. I think my good friend has done justice to all the areas he touched. I think, my own humble opinion, the first person to get sacked or resign should be the NLC president. If you want to take a survey or a census, you will discover that Nigerians don't have trust and confidence in it. he made mention of asking for 600,000 naira, then you accepting 70,000 naira. Then on the question you asked me about Band A and the Band B or what have you, presently we're enjoying Band A and we're paying through our nose.
Yeah.
Though he described it as very discriminatory, which I agree with you. But what we're saying that whether Band A or Band B or Band C, let us have the light. We don't have steady light. And the issue of rise and fall of the national grid is corruption and lack of maintenance. And because nobody has been fired, nobody has been punished for not doing what is supposed to do. Now, 65 years down the line, we are still talking about power supply. We are still talking about this one is not working, this one is not working. Is that not shameful to us? Now, on the issue of rejecting the 50%, I think somebody is getting it wrong because you can't eat your cake and have it. Now, you know how much you are spending here on diesel. Now, you expect these people to run on diesel. You know how much a liter of diesel is. Yeah. And you expect them to charge low. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
And you have now raised the cost of the price of your adverts because you depend on adverts.
Of course.
So you can't expect people. This TV mall, I think, it's 24 hours a day, and it runs on diesel. So for the telecommunication industry, what I said right there, that was about 2 weeks ago. I said, much as we agree that you're supposed to charge it, I said they are being friendly to Nigeria. Honestly, 50% too small. Because how much was the value of Naira yesterday and how much is it today? Then how much was the transport fare from here to Abuja yesterday and now? Then how much is it called a bag of rice yesterday and now? And the objective of any business is to be in the business, is to make a profit.
Yes.
And to live. So I think Nigerians are getting what they deserve because, like you have always quoted me, because I end my things with scriptures. When Samuel was asked to make a king for the children of Israel, they said, please, give us king that will live like other nations. They were given Saul, and Saul started punishing them. So now in the area of all these things, the NLC has no moral justification. He who comes to equity must come with two hands. Because even when they were doing negotiation, doing the minimum wage, there were so many things promised. They said that this electricity tariff, they are going to tackle it. That was played down. When I asked questions, when I was on that other platform, I said, you are concentrating on minimum wage. What about the electricity tariff? They say that then today, the masses are suffering it. Then you talk about the floating of Naira. You didn't protest. You didn't call out the public not accept it. How much is the Naira to dollar today? You didn't ask the public to reject it. To go and pray. You didn't do that.
No.
And you allowed it. Some guys are saying we preferred when they were collecting 300 billion.
Yeah.
Rather than now they're collecting close to 600 billion. Because the cost implication is very high. What they have much money now, but with a little things to show about it. In generally, I think NLC, like you said, they need to take another stand.
Of course.
Strategize to know so that they will have to win the confidence and trust of the people, because personally, I don't trust them. Because I think they're after themselves. Do you know why? Why is it that the federal government promised releasing buses immediately after the removal of the subsidy? You have not seen the buses and you have not talked anything up till now. So it is now the masses are struggling to survive. You are asking us, we are living, suffering and smiling.
Yeah.
So that is what is playing out in Nigeria. So let him allow us. Let us carry our cross. we will survive by the grace of God.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll carry across and survive, hopefully. Anyways, I don't want to say anything as regards this because, well, you've said it all. And from what Chacha said, I think what I could deduce is the fact that, when NLC calls for something, it's almost as good as Nigeria.
The same thing now. The same thing every now and
Nigerians
then.
will never respond.
Reject,
Yeah,
strike.
exactly.
Like he said,
exactly.
I think the ruling party is also playing the role of opposition party. Look at the last strike they called. How many states, involved? They said we are not. And people were tired. One, those in power were the master strategists. Our president was all of it because he knows how to get you to play the games with you. So I think someone was talking about getting a new Nigeria. But the issue is who and who. Exactly. Everybody wants. Look at even those that were in PDP. Even the spokesperson of the presidential candidate of some opposition party, they are now in the ruling party. And if you ask them, they say that was. I remembered in 2014, or 2014, when the present administration were in opposition, they gathered at Ojota, right? Jonathan wanted to remove
Save Nigeria.
to save Nigeria. They tagged him every 1 week, including my friend, son, Barrister Bane. He was there. But now, 2 years ago, the former governor of Ekiti State, is it Fire?
Yes, Fire.
He was in a gathering with the former president, Jonathan. He said, Oga, what you were saying that day at Ghana Square, you are right. We are playing politics. Look at where we are today. You are destroying the nation with propaganda. You are destroying the nation with lies. You are destroying the nation with nepotism. No nation will thrive. No nation will progress with such lifestyle. So that's the problem. You have just then the power. People are. Do you know why Trump didn't invite any of the African countries? He said, for the past 50 years, your people are still eating from the dustbin. Your people are still hungry. What about Transparency International, whatever? And they say Nigeria at the lowest stage of corruption. They are when you talk about corruption, it is deep in the country. Those in power. But even public, they talk about civil servants yesterday. Civil servants are the people helping these politicians to steal money. So everybody's involved. But then the NLC calling for the public to reject it. Has he rejected the 70,000 naira?
Okay.
70,000 naira minimum wage. A bag of rice is how much?
Right.
School fees is how much?
Okay, all right. Of course, there's a new development and it has started already from today, and that is the Lagos State government saying that it will commence full enforcement of the removal of stalls, shanties under Akpogbon Bridge and the sets of the Savage, Elegbata, Bombata drainage channel on Lagos Island today. This move followed the expiration of the 48-hour quit notice issued to the traders last week. The Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, said this while speaking with newsmen at Teru after an inspection tour of the area around Olowogbowo and Akpogbon axis in Lagos Island. He said the government would remove all the shanties in pending drainage channels in the best interest of all residents. Wahab also explained that the Lagos State official repeated the tour to ascertain the level of compliance by the traders operating on the channel setbacks with the quick notice issued to them. The commissioner noted that during an inspection tour last week, it was observed that the setback of these two critical drainage collectors are Bombata, Olusi, and the Alagbafo collector have been converted into shop stalls, thereby causing the total blockage of the collectors. Okay, we have a call. So, okay, drop the call already. I want to pick that call. Yes, there's a video to this, so I want to quickly watch this video, and of course, maybe we'll come back. We'll pick one of the calls from our viewers and hear what they have to say. Let's just watch the video where Wahab was actually inspecting last week and said that by today, of course, I'm sure it has commenced already, and they will be taking out a lot of sheaves and stores who are, on that drainage system. We'll be right back. Let's watch the video. Guess that video. Well, we're playing the video while we are watching. Maybe it's not up down to that. Okay, why would you not have a call right now? I want to get a quick reaction, but I might have to interject if we have a call. So we could get, okay, we have a call right now. So let's hear what this one has to say. Good afternoon. Okay, please, what's your name and what's your input? Can you reduce your TV, please? Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead with your opinion. Okay. Okay. The solution to the corruption that comes from the government quarters. That's your question. Okay, thank you very much. What's your name, please? Olajide. All right, thank you very much for the call. Thank you. Okay, all right, that's Olajide, and asking a question of what is the solution to the corruption from the government quarters themselves. Femi, what? You are a politician, so I think you'll be the best fit.
Yeah.
To answer this question.
An average Nigerian is the one voted into power.
Mm-hmm.
And that you wear a crown does not mean you will act like a king.
Yeah.
You have to have the traits of a king to actually act like one.
Okay.
So that we voted someone and the person probably snatched, grabbed, won election does not make the person a saint nor corrupt. It actually has to do with who the person is.
Yeah.
Then in a community of policemen and thieves, I'm just using that analogy. In the community of policemen and thieves, and there has to be an election, and each of the parties, each of the two groups have a contestant.
Yeah.
You will agree with me that they will find a way to make sure that whoever that can serve the interest of the both of them will actually. While a thief is also looking out for somebody that is honest that can keep his money for him, even though his own way of earning is to actually steal from people, but he also look for an honest person to actually keep his money. So the truth is, there's a way my Smuro puts it. He says it like it is not the size of the fight in the dog, but rather it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's rather the size of the fight in the dog. So who are you? So an average Nigerian that we vote for that has actually paid his way through will always want to look for a way to get his money back. So until we find a way to make elections cheaper, affordable, that you don't have to sell your properties to get into the position, then people will not want to steal. Then see, I'm also of the view. I was listening to this man, Dr. Taiwo, that is in charge of our tax reforms on the platform, and I was shocked that obviously it is not enough to say you pay politicians so well. That's not actually enough. Until we make elections cheap. That an average person, and then we not make the demand on them really high, that they don't have so much security to barricade themselves from the normal human beings. You don't win election in Songo and then go to buy a house in Lekki when you're supposed to be representing people in Songo. Then people will see you as inaccessible, and you want to just do anything for people living in Songo. So because maybe his parents' home to win the election and bribe everybody, he does not feel he's accountable to people.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
How about when the election, or when they make election really cheap? Wouldn't it be so accessible by just anyone, and anyone would just want to participate in being, politics or running for the whole? I mean, don't you think it would just be very accessible if it's so cheap?
I understand your point. The truth is, we don't have working systems. We have powerful humans instead of powerful systems. If we have powerful political systems, they will have criteria
where they have to fit in,
that you have to
know.
fit in before you can even
Come
say
out.
you want to even contest under.
Mm.
But when somebody can decamp from, there are no ideologies. I don't know, maybe you should help me, sir. There are no ideologies.
I don't want us. I have a call. I'm sorry. I have to pick because we're doing this to our viewers too. Okay. It
called me in. I think we have the same mind. What he has said, I know less. In addition to what he has said, I think we need, he said strong mind. I'm talking about strong institution. Right? And that was what Jonathan said. It's not like you have to go and run after somebody who has stolen the money. It's more or less you making a way that you prevent the process. Process is key. That was one of the after the presidential election. I said, I will not call you my president because the process you went through to get there was faulty. So we must make sure that the process with which our leaders or whatever went through before they become selected or elected is correct. Then again, who are you? There's no moral value in these people. So we have to be sure that we remove rascality. Those who will come in because of it's like in Nigeria that political whatever is a profession. In other places, it's a part-time job.
All right.
Because I mean, they use this as an avenue to grab money.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We have a lot of calls that are coming and messages, so I have to be taking that while we're talking. So, but let me read a message from a viewer. This one says, now they want everybody to be in band A in electricity sector. My question is, the 15 naira charges on every 10,000 naira. We'll be going on a commercial break pretty soon. Hold on every 10,000 naira transaction as FGN electronic levy. What is the government doing with all of these charges? Anyways, before we respond to that question, let's quickly go for a commercial break and we'll be right back. Yes, the question is, what is the government doing with all of these charges? The 15 naira charge on every 10,000 naira. And of course, moving everybody to band A, just to, I don't know what the drive is, but they have their drive to make more money.
That's why.
Very quickly, in 1 minute, Mazi, please answer that.
That was why I said the telecommunication they were friendly by accepting. They should have been 100% because other things the federal government rose everything beyond 100%. So for them to ask and accept 50%, I think it's commendable to me. Because you're supposed to raise it to 75, 100%, so that you who voted them will feel them back.
No.
Okay, so let's quickly react to the removal of illegal stores and shanties in Lagos Island. Of course, they're giving 48 hours to actually take that out, but with their last week, last week, going to check if they actually are there, they found that some people are even having stores and even still trying to build up stores.
These are the people who don't
drainage
have where to go. I'm not supporting them staying there. These are the people who stay there to make ends meet. And these are the people who don't have homes. They can't rent shop. However, my question is this. For 8 hours, is it enough? Is it adequate for them to get
out? Okay.
Me, is it adequate?
It's not enough. It's not enough. To be sincere, I'm of the opinion. While Tokumbo have Dr. Tokumbo is a very good friend, and over the weekend we had to talk about some of it. But I've said clearly, and I'm going to repeat it on air, that there is a motive behind all of these things that are happening in Lagos, and sadly, while some of us will continue to air our opinion, it's just obvious that we have to now use legal means to legalize the illegitimate mindset of what they intend to achieve. But going forward, is it true that Lagos does not need shanties and all stuff? Yes. But why do you want people to leave their means of livelihood without creating an alternative
for them
that they can even pay for in installments? You can ask them to form a group. From that group, they join cooperative.
Yeah.
You see, there are ways to get things done.
Yeah.
My problem and my fear is that trying to enforce or think you can do things by force and think these people will not involve in crime.
Oh
When
yeah.
you
The crime
stop
was
them from their
from
natural
their
livelihood.
livelihood.
So we must find a balance.
Balance.
We just need to find a balance.
Okay, let me quickly pick this call. Okay, drop the call. Anyways, we must find a balance, which is very important. But like you said, 48 hours is too short a time, to give someone a quick notice.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to be very, very careful because if I begin to give examples where, like Morocco in those days, they were driven away, promising that they will now do they regain their houses. What about Oba, the Sunday market? The marketers they were driven away, and they were promised to. What about the one? Is it Torosho market? They were promised to. So the government should be able to consider the plight of masses. Having said that, we are here not supporting the idea of those shanties because it happens criminals. But then, if you drive them away, where would they get the means of livelihood? Right. Are you not going to push them into all manner of crimes? The street robbing will come back. People will not sleep with their 2 eyes closed. They'll be going from street to street robbing people. That's the implication. But then the government, they've taken it and they, it's just like there's nothing again we can do. But you have to say it no matter what you do. You will say, you do what you want. It's not fair.
Yeah. Okay, so now that they've already started taking out, because as of today, certainly they are already doing that, removing the illegal stores and shanties. It's already late to start saying create.
So it's already
yes,